historic day in the life of my 2014 Dodge Ram. Changing the plates. Here's the new ones. Now all I gotta do is go register them on my vehicle, get the sticker and put them on. So the Landstar knife did come in handy. Beautiful. HHTV, yours to discover. And of course this is Canada, so we gotta use two plates, not unlike in the States. The fine is about 150 bucks if they catch you with only one plate, unless you're a tourist from US. Wow, I like this. What are you looking at? AE93290. Jeez Louise. Haley Hall TV. Find it online, yours to discover. Just what the doctor ordered. Oops, sorry, I'm not ready yet. Alright, here we go. Yeah, and I hope you guys understand that we're also doing a test of the Hero camera. Right, so I was using my headband from Iron, and surprisingly, you know, it fits with the tripod mount added at the bottom. And now we're also testing the audio, because everybody says that on these cameras the audio is not very good, and by default this camera records in 720p super view, so you should see a big like field of view, I don't know, 160 180 degrees, which is great for tight quarters. But I think the sound should be okay, because that's why I closed all the windows. And what I wanted to add to make it a legitimate heavy haul TV episode, well, because I show the truck because this pickup truck is part of my YouTube venture, right? That's how I promote this. And waited a long time for these plates. They came in a Purolator, which is our Canadian Post Office Express service Purolator. Took them almost 2 months. They're not cheap, but I think it's great. So forget that last name. That's just BS. That's just vanity, you know. Especially when you have a foreign last name that nobody can pronounce. Like, I'm over that phase, But as I was leaving the MTO office, it's called Service Ontario, by the way. Like, you know, in the States it'll say probably what, DOT or Driver Center. Over here in Ontario it says Service Ontario, and next door is a Stag Shop, which is a sex shop. So I don't know how the government store, government office can be next to a sex shop, but those guys have been coexisting for years. I don't know, maybe they have some joint lunches or something, I don't know. But anyway, today is Monday. Was a very busy day for Uncle Sergei. I woke up at 6:30. Didn't sleep a lot last night. I was doing lots of planning. So on the night before, I drove my Mac to the Cambridge Mac dealer, and then I walked back to my parking lot a few kilometers away. Got into my Ram and drove to the hotel. And this morning I took my Ram to the dealer because I had the gears, 2 huge boxes, right, like 100 pounds each, and gave them the boxes, and they're gonna do a lot of stuff on the truck, not just the gears, switching from 391 to 410, and then I have to reprogram the ECM. And I said check for recalls. I think there was an outstanding recall. They never had parts, like 5 months ago. And I said check my ignition. Like after I started washing the engine, again I have the same thing like it happened before on my previous International. When you turn the key, nothing happens, you know, like you lose power, then you turn it back on and it starts. So again, I think it's that power wash. You know, power wash, it's not a good thing to do for an engine, because there's so many wires in there, so much electronics. But you gotta do it, because if you don't wash your engine, then you, like I had the ticket, right? Because they saw, the DOT in Texas thought I had all kind of oil leaks, whereas this was just dirt. And you know, when you check your oil, so you gotta wash the engine, otherwise you'll get a ticket. But that's what happens, I think. These power washers, too much pressure, you know, and they can cut through wires and probably through steel. And so yeah, so I took the truck in there. Then I found my Ram has a recall. You know, I was checking this Mopar website, and last recall my truck was not listed. Now this time it is listed. It's just a new one just came out. So I stopped by the local Chrysler dealer, and they confirmed that yeah, some wiring inside the steering wheel can chafe the airbag, causing a random deployment of the said airbag. Now imagine you're driving and you have a cup of coffee in your hand, or even if you have a hand on your steering wheel across the center section, geez, it can break your hand, right? So real scary stuff. So I scheduled for my truck for tomorrow. They're too busy today. They're just gonna check if it has that condition that might cause the airbag to explode. Basically they're just rerouting the wiring inside. Basically someone did a poor job, and just not to offend anyone, but my truck was built in Mexico. Okay, I'm not implying anything, I'm just stating the fact that this truck was assembled in Mexico. But I know many American cars, many Japanese cars and trucks recently have been having all these recalls, right? Okay, what else I did today? So I picked up the plate, I checked the truck in. Oh, and I chose a seat, because one other thing I'm doing is I'm finally getting rid of that basic farm tractor seat I have on the right side, and I'm installing you know, air suspension seat with some nice leather covering, because you know, I have nowhere to sit in the cab except the driver's seat and the bed, because that seat, the passenger seat, is so uncomfortable. It's like, it's not even funny, because you cannot even adjust the angle of the cushion. You know, you sit like this, and I want to relax after, you know, days of driving over there, maybe with my computer or a book or something. So this way I can adjust the height, I can put my feet up on the dash, you know. I love to sit like that, like with my laptop. So I chose the seat. They had them in stock, and they're gonna install that one. Oh, and then yeah, once they take the gears out, so it's probably will happen sometime today, I'm gonna go there in my pickup truck, load them up, and drive to gear shop 40 kilometers away, where I bought those aftermarket 410 gears, because part of the deal was I give the guy these old ones because he gave me a good price. Oh, and one more thing, I picked up my tarp. I forgot all about it. I left it like 2 weeks ago at the local top shop here in Cambridge, and because I was stuck in the States, right, for the weekend, and I was gone 2 weeks. So finally I drove there this morning, picked it up, and so now it sits in the bed of my truck. I gotta drop it off at my trailer. So that's what I'm doing. I hope you guys can hear me, because I'm not, this is the first time, this is my first video with the new GoPro HERO, and again we're recording in 720p Super View 60 frames per second. I see the light is blinking, so something is happening, but I have no idea how good the audio, how bad the audio sounds. Okay, so all I gotta do now is just wait for the Mac shop to call me. Oh, one more thing I gotta do is I placed the order for the fenders for the truck, for the pusher axle, and because I didn't want to pay for express shipment, they said, well, if you want to wait, we won't charge you anything for shipping. If you can wait, then it'll come together with our, you know, bulk shipment, like they get a truck like every 2 weeks or something. So, but I gave them my card, they wrote my phone number, gave them my credit card number. I think they took a deposit, but never heard from them. So now they're here in town. Just gonna drive over there and see what's what. And maybe we'll do another driving video just to check to see how the cam you know, records driving objects when I'm driving in the truck. Okay, now we're recording with the head cam. So 720p 60 frames per second Super View. This thing is probably in the middle of the frame right now. I think last time when I had this GoPro, but silver, right, silver plus, when I was inside the truck, like recording like this, I think I found out that a regular ultra wide mode is better than Super View, because Super View I think shows too much of the interior, but you get the driver point of view. I'll try not to move my head too much. And last video where I showed the unboxing of this thing, we had the rare pleasure of running into another safety nut. And this guy says, why don't you check your mirrors, right? And because I don't move my head does not mean that I don't check my mirrors, first of all. And secondly, I didn't move my head exactly for this reason, because then you guys gonna get nauseous, you know? Because I have experience with these things. Trust me, I'm a professional videographer and trucker. So okay, that thing is on Franklin. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. Uh-oh. Look at this guy. It was very cold this morning. I almost had to wear a jacket, but the next couple of days the summer's gonna be back. It's gonna be almost 30 degrees Celsius. Shit metal. That's what the sign says on the trailer. Shit metal. This is going to be a good test for this camera, because lots of construction, you see colors, all these pylons. Good test. Flowmaster Super 40. Oh, 44 I think. I don't remember. Transaxle heavy truck and trailer parts. Let's go see if my fenders are in. If they are, then I gotta go to the body shop and make arrangements for the install. That's it. That's the end of our test and this heavy haul episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Sergei DRATCHEV in Cambridge, Ontario. And what I like about this cam is there's just one button. Like you push one button to start recording and you push the same button once to stop recording. Beautiful. Yeah, a quick addition. So I checked with the shop, with the store, and turns out they lost my number. They wrote it on a piece of paper, and they did have my fenders, and these are smaller, so they fit inside. And it's only two, right? So they fit inside the bed. I was able to close the cover. Very light, but the price, they're even more expensive than those ones. Well, what do you do? I need them. So I took them to the Mac shop, and we agreed that they had no problem with installing them after my truck is done at the Cambridge Mac. So I left the fenders over there at the shop that would be installing the fenders, and I went to check on my truck, and the axles are out, and they're working on the differentials. And they're gonna call me, you know, this afternoon. They're gonna wash the old ones, and I can pick them up and take them to the gear shop in that place where I bought the new ones. And that's it. Then they install the seat, they check the wiring. I want them to check the wiring in the starter, between the starter and the battery in the relay, and then the body shop will drive it to install the fenders. And I noticed my old ones loose in the back. I think they have, you know, because they keep vibrating, so they gotta check, see nothing is broken there. But all is good, so lots of upgrades this week. But this is just the time to install those fenders, because, you know, bad weather is coming. There's no escaping that fact. And so that's the news.